As soon as you walked back into the grand ballroom, your eyes scanned the crowd, and so did his, Jungkook. He was standing not too far, politely nodding at someone speaking to him, but his eyes kept darting around, searching. When he spotted you, a breath visibly escaped his lips. His shoulders relaxed, the furrow between his brows faded. He looked relieved. For a moment, he thought you would come straight to him, but you didn't. Instead, you walked straight past him towards Hana. She wasn't looking as happy as she was when she came. Nice party, Hana. You must be really proud of yourself. She gave a fake smile, but it was clearly out of jealousy and anger. And yet here I am, standing beside the man you call your husband. Funny how life turns out. You raised an eyebrow. Is that what tonight is? A grand comeback, taking what was never really yours to begin with? He came to me. I didn't have to beg for his attention. You lost him the moment he realized who really understands him. No, I lost him the moment he decided to replace honesty with comfort. You are not a safe place, Hannah. You are just a habit. She blinked. For the first time tonight, she had no words. At least I know how to keep him interested. That's something you never figured out. You gave a small smile, one that didn't quite reach your eyes. Then you are welcome to all of it. The games, the lies, the hollow affection. I'm done fighting for someone who didn't even have the decency to fight for me. Before Hannah could respond, a warm voice came from behind. You okay? You turned to find him standing there, concern laced in every inch of his face. I want to leave. I'll drive you. He nodded, understanding your condition, but you shook your head. No, Jungkook. This is your party. I don't want to ruin it for you. I'm really thankful for everything you have done. You being okay is more important than this party. Before you could protest again, he lightly touched your elbow and guided you outside. But just as you stepped into the cool night air, Yoonjae was waiting, his eyes dark with fury, jaw clenched. The moment he saw you, his anger boiled over. You're not going anywhere, he said, marching towards you. Jungkook instantly stepped between you and him. Move, this is between me and my wife. Yoonjae said to Jungkook. She doesn't look like your wife tonight. He glanced back at you gently. And she's leaving with me unless she tell me otherwise. Yoonjae's eyes immediately shifted to you. The storm in them was unmissable. Well, say it, you're coming or not. You looked at Jungkook. He looked so still, jaw tense, hands slightly clenched like he was prepping for something painful. Your eyes met his, warm, soft but certain, and he understood. I'll go with him. Jungkook blinked just once. His expression didn't change much, but the way his shoulders dropped slightly, it said it all. Still he nodded. I'll be here if you need me. Yoonjae scoffed and pulled your arm, ushering you towards his car. The silence between you two was thick, but once inside, the car door slammed shut. The car door slammed shut. For a moment, nothing but the sound of the engine filled the air, but the silence didn't last long. Yoonjae spoke through his gritted teeth. Are you proud of yourself? You didn't answer. You simply looked out the window. He raised his voice. I asked you something. Was that your plan? Show up with him? Let everyone see you with him? Make me look like a fool? You turn your face towards him, calm, unshaken. Funny, I was going to ask you the same thing. His hands clenched the steering wheel tighter. He scoffed. Don't act like you're innocent here. You paraded yourself around with him like you were trying to get back at me. You introduced Hannah as your wife, Yoonjae, in front of everyone. That wasn't about business. That was humiliation. That wasn't supposed to happen like that. You weren't even supposed to be there. You laughed, a sharp, empty sound. Right, because I was supposed to stay home, in the dark, waiting like an idiot while you brought your ex to play house in front of your colleagues. His voice shook slightly. I didn't want them to judge me, us. You wouldn't understand. No, I do understand. You were ashamed of me, of being married to me. So don't stand there now, throwing your tantrum because I didn't stay where you left me. You're my wife. How could you walk in with him? And you, how could you bring her? Or did you forget that part already? He didn't respond. His jaw worked as if trying to find something, anything to say that would make it right. But there was nothing. Do you even remember the woman you married, Yoonjae? He looked at you then, eyes flickering with something softer, regret, guilt. You didn't wait for it. She's gone now, and the one sitting next to you won't break the same way again. I'm filing for divorce. The words dropped like a hammer between you. The car jerked slightly as he pressed the brake harder than needed, eyes snapping towards you in disbelief. He laughed bitterly out of anger. Oh, so that's what this is. Jungkook offered you something better, and now you are jumping ship? You turned to him, deadpan. This has nothing to do with Jungkook. Sure it doesn't. You walk in with him dressed like that, clinging to his arm like you have known him forever, and now, divorce? You have been waiting for a chance to crawl to someone richer, haven't you? You stared at him for a second, not shocked, not hurt. Disgusted. Then your hand met his cheek, a clean, sharp slap. How dare you? How dare you talk like that? After everything you did, after you paraded your ex around as your wife, after you made me feel like I wasn't good enough, like I wasn't worth standing beside you. He held his cheek stunned. You hit me? Yes, and you should be grateful I didn't do worse. I stayed quiet when you started coming home late. I bit my tongue when you brought Hannah up in conversations like she was a standard I could never meet, and I swallowed my pride when you introduced her as your wife like I was nothing. You leaned forward slightly. But you know what's worse than betrayal? You not even having the decency to feel ashamed of it. You're really doing this? No, you did this, Yoonjae. I'm just choosing not to stay in the mess anymore. A long silence followed, the tension in the car thick with the truth he could no longer hide from. You pulled open the car door. You lost the right to call me your wife the moment you decided someone else fit that role better. Don't worry, I'll let my lawyer handle the rest. And you walked away, leaving him sitting. You left Yoonjae that night. No more hesitation, no more fear, just silence, and a heart finally choosing itself. And life moved forward. You didn't run back to Jungkook. You didn't need saving. Instead, you rebuilt on your own terms. You updated your resume, walked into interviews with quiet confidence, and when an email popped up weeks later with the header, Interview Invitation, John Security Group, your heart skipped. But you didn't back down. You earned that job, not because of your past with him, but because of the fire in your eyes and the grace in your voice when you answered every question like the woman who had been through hell and came out gold. The first day at John's security was oddly calm until he walked in. John Jungkook, dressed in tailored black sleeves rolled up, hair casually tousled, but his eyes softened when they found you sitting across the boardroom. He took his seat at the head of the table, cleared his throat, and the meeting began, but not before he said, I want to welcome our new project analyst. She's here based on merit, not connections. Treat her as you would any other team member, maybe even better. She's sharper than most of you. A few chuckles, you lowered your gaze, hiding the faint curve of your lips. The meeting moved on. Numbers, charts, strategy. You stayed composed, answering a few questions with clarity that earned you approving nods. After it ended, people began filing out, except you. You were still organizing your notes when you heard his voice again, much closer this time. You already had that quiet fire. You looked up, he was leaning on the other end of the table watching you, and you always had a thing for dramatics. You said, raising an eyebrow. He grinned. I call it appreciation. You stood, slipping your file into your bag. I told you, Jungkook, I'm here to work, not to revisit old chapters. He nodded, stepping aside as you walked past. Then let me be the one who rewrites them. You paused at the door for just a breath, then left without a word, but you knew he smiled as you walked away, and what you didn't know was that he watched you go until you disappeared from view. You returned from lunch to find something small on your desk, a yellow sticky note stuck to your monitor. It read in Jungkook's unmistakable handwriting. The coffee machine misses your sarcasm. Join me for a 5-minute break. I promise not to fall harder than I already have. J. You smiled despite yourself. You didn't reply, but you went anyway. You walked into the break room, the hum of the coffee machine already buzzing, the smell of roasted beans lingered in the air. He was there, leaning against the counter, sleeves rolled up, watching the coffee drip like it had his full attention. But the moment you stepped in, he looked up. You came, he said, smiling slightly while you decided to tease a little. Well, I couldn't let the coffee machine stay heartbroken. He chuckled under his breath, handing you a warm cup he had already made just how you like it. Still 2 sugars? You took the cup, brushing his fingers by accident. The touch lingered longer than it should have. Some habits don't change. A short silence stretched, but it wasn't awkward. It was filled with things left unsaid. He took a sip of his drink, eyes watching you over the rim of his cup. You handled yourself well today. With the board, with the pitch, I'm proud of you. You looked at him, surprised slightly. Thank you, that means more than you know. He looked like he wanted to say something else but stopped himself. You noticed the way his jaw clenched, just a little nervous maybe. Listen, I know things are still complicated and I don't expect anything, but I meant what I wrote. Your heart thudded. You kept your eyes on the coffee, afraid if you look at him, your walls might fall. I know, I don't want to pressure you, but I'm here, however you need me. You finally looked up, his gaze was soft, sincere without expectations. I don't know where I stand yet, Jungkook. I'm figuring it out. Then I'll wait. I waited before, I can wait again. Another silence, this one warmer. You finish your coffee and place the cup down. I'll get back to work now. Don't want the CEO thinking I'm slacking. Don't worry, he's very forgiving towards his favorite employee. He said with a smirk. You rolled your eyes and turned to leave, but before stepping out, you paused. Thanks for the coffee. Anytime. And as you walked away, you didn't see him smile to himself, but you felt it. Somewhere deep down, you both knew this was only the beginning. Later that week, you met Yoonjae one last time at the lawyer's office. He looked at you like he was still trying to understand how he lost you, but it wasn't about loss anymore. So this is how it ends. You met his gaze calmly, your hand steady as you held the pen. No, this is how I begin. He scoffed, not out of humor but disbelief. So that's it. After everything, you're just done. I was done the day I realized I kept shrinking to fit into the version of me you could handle. His face danced, but he said nothing. You didn't break me, Yoonjae, but you did teach me never to lose myself for someone else's comfort again. A heavy silence stretched between you. He'll never love you like I did. You looked at him not with anger but clarity. Exactly, he won't love me like you did. He'll love me better. And then you signed the papers, no drama, no breakdowns, just silence and freedom. You knocked gently on his office door. It was late and the building had emptied out. He looked up. Hey, everything okay? He walked in slowly holding a file, but it wasn't business. You placed it on his desk. That was finalized. He didn't say anything right away. Instead, he stood up, rounded the desk, and stood in front of you. Does it feel lighter? You nodded. It feels free. He took a step closer. I've been wanting to say something for a long time. You met his eyes. I loved you even when you were not mine to love. I loved you when I had no right to, and now, if you let me, I want to love you with everything I have. Not in secret, not in silence, but fully, openly, and madly. You blinked fast, trying to swallow the wave in your throat. Jungkook. He stepped closer again, his voice a promise. I'll never make you feel small. I'll never let you stand alone again. Let me be your beginning, not your escape. And just like that, your walls gave in. You didn't say yes, you didn't have to. Your fingers slipped into his, and he pulled you close like you were finally home. 1 year later, John's security was buzzing with celebration. The boardroom glowed with golden balloons and champagne flutes, laughter echoing off glass walls. The company had just closed the biggest deal in its history, and every employee wore pride like a medal. But you stood by the large window of Jungkook's office, your arms crossed, staring down at the city you once thought you would never stand tall in again. That's when a familiar voice slid into the room behind you. You're hiding again. You turn, already smiling as he walked towards you, no longer the cold, unreadable CEO. He was just Jungkook now, yours. I'm not hiding, I'm collecting thoughts. Do your thoughts taste like champagne and smell like success? No, more like stale coffee and overdue emails. He chuckled, stepping closer. You did it, you know. You raised an eyebrow. I thought we did it. Sure, but you changed the whole game. You walked in with your heart guarded and your resume shaking, and you still managed to steal the whole damn company. Well, the CEO helped. You said playfully. He stepped closer. He's kind of in love with you. You pretended to act surprised. Oh, is he cute? Very irresistible, actually. He slid a hand around your waist, fingers brushing gently against your blazer. I know I say this a lot, but thank you. He was serious now. For not walking away that night, for choosing yourself, and then for letting me love that version of you. You paused, your hand reached up, fingers fixing the tiny strand of hair that always fell onto his forehead. You never asked me to be anything else. He looked at you like you hung the stars. That's because you already were everything. Just then your phone burst. You glanced down and saw a sticky note stuck to your monitor. Dinner at 7. Don't be late, Mrs. John. You looked up at him, your eyes playful. Calling me that in the office? Bold move, Mr. John. What can I say? I like the sound of it. Careful, you keep being this charming, I might fall for you again. He leaned in, then let me keep trying every day. Deal. He took your hand. The party burst behind you, but all you could hear was his steady heartbeat against yours. Not every love story gets a second chance, but yours bloomed in the wreckage, and this time it was unshakable.